Hello. Come on in, everybody. Let's talk tarot. Let's talk the art of tarot and what it means and what it looks like. So, welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining me. If you're the first time that you've ever been here, you're watching the replay. My name is Mary June Tracy. I'm a psychic medium, spiritual love of life coach, and an astrologer. And I read tarot. That's the other thing I do. And I have a tarot class that's coming up in March. And it's on sale right now if you're interested. Uh, so the art of tarot. This is, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I love tarot. It's truthful. It's honest. Um, but there are times when I'm reading the tarot that it's like, oh, hmm, do I really want to say this? Especially if they have, people come in and they have specific questions. And that's the big thing. Like if you're going in and you want a reading, it's good to have an idea of what you want a reading for. Sometimes that doesn't mean that you're going to get the answers to whatever you came in for the reading, because there's, your guides may have something that you've been avoiding or you haven't been paying attention to. So they will draw you to that, and to that area to start paying attention to. So one of the things that I have, when I do readings, depending what it is, I usually use a Celtic cross. Sometimes, but sometimes it's just laying out the cards and whatever, how they're working with one another. Now, sometimes, I love it when you're doing a reading for somebody and you get like the 10 of cups, or you get something that is very joyful, the 9 of cups, something happy, and it's like, yeah, things are going in. So it's like, you're doing a reading and people are asking, oh, what, I'm just wanting to know about my job and my future. And you pull out the Fool, right? So you pull out this Fool card and they're like, yeah, I'm going on a new journey. And you're like, yeah, it looks really good. And then you pull out like the 10 of cups, which is a very happy, joyful card. And I'm going to show it to you as I pull it out here. So the 10 of cups. So you have the 10 of cups, and look at it. It's all happy. People are laughing. Kids are playing. And you're like, yeah, things are looks like things are going to go on a really good turn for you. Things look like very profitable. You get the 10 of pentacles. So, there's something to do with money, and that you've worked really hard for what you got. So you get the 10 of pentacles. So you love those types of readings because they're happy and they're great, and things are just going hunky dory, and you're just like, yeah. So you get one of those happy readings. But then you can get the flip side of a reading. And they're like, well, I really, really, am looking at, I don't know, maybe it's a relationships, that's one of the number one questions, about your relationships. I get people who've been married for like 15, 20 years, and their marriage is good, but they want to know about their relationship. And I'm just like, it feels good. Why do you have, oh, I'm just curious. Well, first of all, soon as you ask questions about your relationship, there's something there that ain't right. Just say it. You're asking a question about your relationship. There's something there you're not happy with, or there's something there that, yeah, you're curious, but why are you so curious? I mean, I've been married for like 34 plus years, 34 years. I'll be, whew, my God, I'm coming. Yeah, I think it's going to be 34 years this year. Anyways, been married for a long time. I've never asked, except at the very beginning of my relationship, 1, 2, 3 years, about my relationship. Never have I asked a psychic about my relationship. If it comes in, awesome. I'm always asking about money, my business, and things like that. I'm not really asking too much about my relationship. But people do, and it is one of the top questions. And the thing is that when you're asking, you're like, well, I want to know about my relationship. And then you're like, okay, so you shuffle your cards and you're like, you're thinking about it, and they're asking about the create, the relationship. And usually I kind of do a no, if you want a reading, please go to thegurumama.com. If you start to look at what's happened in the past. So I do like sort of like a 7 card spread, past, present, future, positive, negative kind of energies, feelings, and actions, sort of thing. But when the first card comes out and it's like, well, in the past, there's been heartache. So you pull out the 3 of Wands, or 3 of Swords, and you're like, okay, yeah, there's been some heartache in the past, and the person may go, yeah, it's been, we've had a lot of difficult times. And then you pull out, the present. Well, right now you're not really paying attention to what is going on. And you're getting like, okay, there's something happening here with this relationship. And you're looking at, like, you can move away if you want. You can, there's a lot of things that are done and said, but for some reason, from whatever heartache you're hanging on to something, whatever it is. And then you're like, well, I would just want to know where it's going. And you're like, oh, okay, well, let's maybe I'll reshuffle the cards. So you reshuffle the cards, and they're asking, how do you think it's going to go? And you're like, well, let's see. And you get this card. And you're like, well, it looks like things are you're going to have some difficulty ahead if you stay in the delusion. If you stay in that delusion, this is what's going to happen. And then they're like, well, what about the future card? Like, what do you where do you think that we're going in the future? And you're just praying to God you're going to get a good card, but then you get the death card. Things are ending. So that's one way a reading can go. Readings can go, and when you're using especially the tarot, it's going to tell you things. And a lot of times people get scared of it because it's going to come up with some of the scary cards, or some of the energies that are going to tell you that, what, there's some things in your life you have to start paying attention to. Many years ago, when I used to do, when I used to, I still do, when I was doing, reading for myself, and I really wanted, getting things going, I got the Tower and the Death card were my friends. Just saying. It would be the Tower and the Death card and something else. But those were the 2 main cards that usually came up in my life. And, it was like, oh my God, the Tower card, what's ending? So something would be ending, something would be happening. And there was some the, early on, especially in my early years as a young wife and stuff, there was my it was been turbulent. It's been crazy. Excuse me. But then I got to understand why the Tower was coming in. And one of the biggest reasons why the Tower started to come in, and when people get the Tower, it's like you need to formulate a strong base for yourself, physically, mentally, and spiritually. If you don't have a strong base, you're going to repeat what's going on. And this is a time for you to really look at what is dismantling. So let's say the Tower comes up and it has to do with financials. So there is something there that's telling you maybe there's something that you need to start doing with your finances. Maybe it's taking a course. Maybe it is learning how to do investments. Maybe it's that you got to ask for more hours at work. These are the things that are coming in because there's some kind of something there that's shaking, and it's going to end. Something's going to end. You're going to end up in some kind of chaos. And many times when you're going through when you're doing a tarot reading, it's going to show you that, okay, this person is going through a lot of chaos. And in that chaos, you have to take a moment because there's great change in chaos, right? And this is where it's like, okay, what direction do I need to go into? See, that's the thing, is like you can ask, the tarot can, it can be very specific. You're asking a question on, oh, what's my relationship like, or my finances? And then you can ask, I need advice. I need to have advice on what is going on. And this is where, when you're looking at a positive, like, what a positive is, it could be the Devil card shows up, or it could be something like that. But then it's like, okay, what do I need to learn from the Devil? And you might have the 10 of cups come in with the devil card. And it's letting you know you need to allow yourself to express and have fun. You need to allow yourself to get out there and enjoy life instead of worry and just sitting in the chaos. It gets you to look at things in a new way. That's what the beauty of the tarot is. And what I do, or one of the ways I teach the tarot, is I like to show you the journey of the tarot and what that journey is. And to understand that the journey always starts with the Fool. And any journey that you start with the Fool. And the Fool's isn't as stupid as what people think. But and it's all depending on your wisdom that you've gained. You could be, when you're 18, you're just fresh-eyed, getting out there, and you may not have a lot of experiences in life. As you get older, you get a little bit more experience. And so when you do start on a new road or venture, you start to see the newness come in. You start to see more than what you did before. So every time with the Fool, you are starting something new, but you're starting it new with a little bit more expertise. So in learning the tarot, it's understanding that journey, understanding your journey and how it relates to what is going on in your life, what is even going on in the outside world. I remember one of the times I was pulling some cards and I asked about certain things that were going on. And every time I asked, I would reshuffle and reshuffle, the tower came out. And because I was asking about what's happening with the world right now. And the tower kept coming up and the death card. And that means that there was dismantlement, there was destruction happening. There was, where people were maybe not paying attention in the world. And that was in 2020. you know. So we're heading into a new year, right? With some new energy. We're heading into where I feel like it's a lot more of us investing into our basis and into our spirituality, allowing ourselves to have that. And it's not pompous, but it's where we have that power. I mean, people could call it pompous, but I don't know why that word came in. But anyways, it's where we step into our power of who we are. And this year, like the last couple of years, I kind of had a card for it. I usually have a goddess come in, and our goddess that came in for this year is the goddess of Guadalupe, Our Lady of Guadalupe. And she's bringing in the miracles of the outcast. She's bringing in the miracles of transformation and change there. So what I wanted to do today, and I have my teaching deck, and then I have my regular deck. I want to pull a card for the energies for 2022. Did my own little reading for 2022. And if you haven't done one, I would advise, do a little reading for yourself on what's going on. And so let's take a look. So let's look into the past position. So let's look into which is, impacting on the present. So what in the past, okay, I gotta just pull a card. What in the past has been impacting us on the present? So we're gonna pull, and I got the card down below, and I usually like to show the bottom card. The bottom card is the moon card. So the moon card's coming in. So our past has to do a lot with our shadow side, a lot of things that we have to do. And that shadow is impacting how we are creating our future. So the moon is impacting on our future and how we are looking at things internally. So we have that moon energy. And what do we need to know from that moon energy? How to love. Knight of Cups. coming in with love, graciousness. Through loving our shadow side, through loving that part, and I didn't stack the deck, we have to learn how to love. So that's one of the things we have to learn with the past years. We need to learn and come into our intuition and into our emotions. And in that, how is that and what are the clues? So when we're reading the present, especially, within the energies of the year, it's critical because the present sets the tone for the reading. So the thing is that we have to come in right now to a place of love, to a place where we can create harmony and peace within ourselves and within the world around us. And as we do that, it is like the goal of the goal of where's that going to take us? What is that future with that? And the future is undecided. It's a 2. The future is undecided. So we're in a time that, yes, we're wanting to stay in our love, but there's a lot of indecisions. Our intuition, we're trying to tap into our intuition, but there could be a blockage. We might be not wanting, or we're not having it as clear as what we would like it to be. We're wanting more. I posted up a meme of it's like a pullish. It's like messages from the universe. Do I pull or do I push? And it says pullish. It's like I'm not sure exactly what to do, so I may not be getting all the information I need at this time, and I need to take maybe some more time. Take some more time in meditation. Take some more time in understanding my direction, and I'm going to ask a question with that, because the thing is that you can, we know that it's like we're working a lot on the shadows. So the shadow of our collective consciousness, the shadow of things that aren't working right now in the world that we really have to take a deep dive into and begin to love it, to begin to accept it without judgment. And with this one card about the future, it's the outcome. It's like, also it's like asking, like, how do we come into that? And then comes the star. So the star card is very much about balance, direction. It is a very beautiful card. You have the water, it is the water bearer. So it's like community, coming out with community, coming out with, trusting your 5 senses. There's the energy of the 5 senses that are there. And to know that the tower comes out. The tower is before the star card, and there is that Egyptian bird there, the Egyptian bird of death and resurrection. So knowing that when we trust into our intuition, that sometimes we have to die within ourselves to be reborn. We have to trust in the process of the rebirthing. And in that rebirthing is going to show us more of the deeper love that we need to look at. But it's one of those things that we get frustrated with, and we got to be gentle with ourselves. This is where we have to look at, are we able to celebrate and honor ourselves of who we are and the surroundings that are coming in? Are we able to connect with that inner voice, that inspiration, in order to guide us to something better? So, this is where it's like, with the 2 is like, yes, there is, maybe we're not connecting fully and totally, but the star is saying, and it's a major arcana. So it's like, pay attention, because that's our future. Our future is connecting with our intuition, connecting with our guides, connecting with source. That's going to lead us to a better place. And in leading us to a better place, what's the positive? We're going to find the deceit. The 7 of swords, when it comes in, it's like one of those cards that is, yeah, there's deceit, there's mistrust around us. So we have to, that's the positive. When we are starting to trust ourselves, we are starting to see the deceit. We are starting to see the things that are not in alignment with us. We are starting to see that. And this is where the illusions or the illusions are starting to come forward. So and noticing where the truth might be omitted. So this is coming in. Omitting the truth is not a good idea. We know that, but we're seeing it. If you are watching, for instance, if you're watching anything to do with the truck drivers and you watch mainstream news and then you listen to some of what the truckers are saying, it's like night and day. It's like, hold on, this makes okay, somebody here. I'm going to trust the guy who's got boots on the ground, not the person who's getting paid off by corporate. So this is looking at, and also it's a place of fake honesty. So that's the other part. So it's like trusting your intuition so you can discover where the fake honesty is, where the lies are and the deceit. And what is that negative? What is, similarity spreads, the negative, what is that drawback from a lot of this? Confusion. There's a lot of confusion. So when we go into it, the negative is all that confusion. We're not sure where to go. We have creative passion. We want to move, we want to do things, but we're just unsure. So this year is really telling us that we really have to connect with the love. We really need to connect with our intuition. And connecting with our intuition is going to lead us to a better place. Coming in, it's like, you're coming into your heart center. And when you're coming to the heart center, this is going to help you so that you feel more harmonious with all that you do. And in feeling more harmonious, what's going to happen is that the death card comes in. That means there's going to be some dramatic endings. And that's what you're feeling. And maybe that's what you're fearing. You're fearing those dramatic endings. You're fearing that something has to die away in order for you to rebirth. We go back to the Two of Swords. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of in this world? What are you afraid of believing and understanding? Sometimes, people are stuck in that loop where it's like, I felt safe and secure the last 2 years because I like being home. I don't want to go out and meet people, whatever the reason is. You might have been that person. And now it's like, oh my God, I got to get back out there. I got to connect. And then there's panic. It's looking at those fears that are within you that you need to work on, the shadow side, so you can come out and not fearing the death, not fearing the ending of things, but looking at that there is some great rejoicing because there's the sun in the back, that something new is on the horizon. Trusting in that. And the actions that we need to take is trusting the information that's coming in, making sure that you're journaling, looking at that passion, that creativity that you have, and not being afraid of it. Not being afraid of it, not being afraid of your passion, not being afraid of trying something new. And this is where, when you get the Eight of Wands, what can I do to put things in motion? So this is the action. What are you going to do to put things in motion? What are you going to do to put your intuition of where it's leading you into action? So there's an action-oriented energy that's coming in this year of having us go towards. What do you need to do? What do you need to do to create that abundance in your life? What are the action steps do you would need to do to create the more love, the harmony, the joy, the laughter into your life? And this is where it's like swift action is coming in. It's positive action. And we need to look at how we're going to take that positive action in order for us to bring in the love, to trust our intuition, to know that even when things die away, we can still stand strong and still continue to shine our light with the flame and have our light shine. And this is the time to take the action. So this is a year of taking action, of doing things, creating, following your intuition, even when, and this is where the shadow part comes in, even when it feels like, no, you shouldn't, and you're questioning it because of some deep fear that's coming in. So this is a huge year of transformation, a huge year that's bringing us in. And we've just gone through almost month one. It is January 26th. It's like 11 more months and it's, we'll be on Boxing Day. It's Christmas. So we have gone through these transformations so much in the last 26 days. And this is why we have to stay anchored. We have to stay within our light, follow our intuition, and continue being the beautiful persons that we are. Knowing that there is going to be some confusion, knowing that there is going to be some conflict, and that things are going to die away. But in that death, there's always a resurrection. And there's, when something dies, there's a rebirth. So, in trusting in the process of it all. So, doing the tarot, I thought that was pretty good reading. That's pretty. It's pretty accurate in the feelings I've been having, anyways, for this year. But it's trusting into it, and really, especially when you're using the tarot, and begin to make a relationship with your tarot. And if you want to join me in March for the tarot workshop, it's 5 weeks. We go through the major arcanas, the minor arcanas, the court cards, and talk about them, discuss it. And then we start to do readings. And doing readings is you begin to trust yourself. You begin to have fun with it. And that's the important piece. So begin to have fun, begin to enjoy. Step out, take the blinders off. Don't allow yourself to be so constrained with what is going on. The more you stand up and the more you don't conform. The thing is about being a spiritual person is that you don't conform. You question things. You stand up. You see what is unjust. And you just don't bypass it. That's where the basis is. So if you're having the tower come up or the moon card comes up, that means you really have to come into an honest viewpoint of where you are in your life and the direction you want to take. And sometimes looking at that direction, looking at that honest view, it's not a fun thing, because you're looking at your different archetypes, you're looking at the shadow, you're coming into a very truth of you, that depth of you. And you know what? It's so much easier when you work for, you do it for other people than it is for doing it yourself. But when you do it for yourself, man, it is absolutely scrumptious and joyous. So, because you're scrumptious and joyous, you're beautiful. So step into the beauty that's you. And have a fabulous day today, everybody. The energy is pretty good. It's a busy day. There's, it's a real focused day on focusing on the world around you. And really, it's untangling and taking, there's a lot of untangling taking place right now. And it's, we're heading to new levels. And I'm just going to read what I wrote. Along with heading at that level, we're being, pressed in different ways. We're being shown things in different ways, and it's trusting in it, right? So it's a busy day. Investing. It's an investing energy, investing in yourself today. So may the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all that you say and all that you do and all that you be. If you're wanting a consultation, please go to thegurumama.com. And there are group sessions in there, or if you want 3 sessions, 6 sessions, or 9 sessions, definitely you can go onto the Guru Mama and you can look at them. I do have payment plans if you want to get the sessions. If you just want a reading, I have to say, I don't do payment plans on my readings, so just saying. The other thing is the tarot class starts in March. February 1st, we have a new joy and blissful meditation. So if you want to join me for that, that's going to be so much fun. It's at 8 a.m. So those who've complained about the 6 o'clock in the morning, it's not at 6 anymore right now. It's at 8. So if you want to join me at 8 in the morning, and it's recorded. We also have Angel Alchemy. So I do have a couple spaces left if you want to join me for Angel Alchemy this weekend. It's Friday night, all day Saturday and Sunday. We are creating a medicine wheel. There are 6 attunements um, within this weekend. So you're going to be attuned to 16 cardinal angels, the Divine Mother in the center, and creating a beautiful medicine wheel as we're doing this, and a beautiful vortex for manifestation and healing. So setting you out with so much love. Let me know if you're interested in any of those. There are payment plans for them. And blessings, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being a part of my community. Please like and subscribe. So many things. Like and subscribe, and have a blessed day. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye, everybody.